How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, we got 16 practices in, so we're getting closer. You know, as position battles unfold, I kind of keep you up to date with them. I don't know if everybody's probably aware of this, but Betancourt will be the kicker. You know, which we really did kind of have a competition, and it was pretty clear cut. He's really kicking the ball he's kicking the ball well. I told Corey to quit acting like a kicker and start focusing on being a punter, which hopefully that'll help him. He hadn't been punting the ball bad, but if he focuses on that, hopefully we'll get better at that. You know, first group, I think, I don't want to jinx him at all, but hadn't had one blocked in well over a week. It's all good news. And he's been somewhere around 90%, so he's kicking the ball well. Punt team wise, we're getting better. We still got a long ways to go. Obviously, we don't want to punt very much, but when we do, we got to be able to get out there and Coach Dunlap's doing a good job of really honing in on what we're doing. You know, kept a lot of the same schemes of what y'all have seen, but tightened it up a little bit, and we should be in good shape there. That's the highlight of my day. We you know, we got in a bunch of situations today. You know, as a normal practice. You know, they were kind of dragging a little bit, which is you know, which is normal. If that doesn't happen everywhere across the country, then somebody's lying to you. You know, you just gotta. That's when you got to challenge them, and you got to talk about pushing through it. And you got to have leaders that get people to push through it, which, you know, I feel like we're getting in the right direction there. You know, and then towards the end of practice, the energy picked up, and we got ourselves in some situations to where we looked good in a few and we looked bad in a few. So overall, it's been a good couple of days. I got questions.
You have an injury update?
It's always the first question.
Yep.
Yeah. It's original. You know, it's been the same. I'm trying to think. You know, Basser's still out day to day with the concussion. Julian Miller's still out day to day with the concussion, or with the ankle deal. We got, you know, we got Darwin Cook back. He looks good. You know, he's a starter. That's been, you know, we've been missing that. And he brought some pop today, so it's good to have him back. Other than that, it's kind of the same guys, little nagging stuff that are day to day, nothing new, other than, you know, Basser's still day to day.
Is Miller's something? I mean, it's been a week and a half now. Is something that may drag on to where it is significant?
I hope not. Shouldn't. You know, I mean, he's got a lot of experience, so it's not like we don't know what he does and what he's capable of. So we're not going to just rush him back to the point to where he re-injures it. You know, you know, you never know. You know, but his lower limb is not functional right now, so we're not going to stick him out there and tell him to push through it. So he's an older guy that knows the defense. He's been in it for 3 years, so we're going to make sure that he's ready to go before we stick him out there. He'll be out there here pretty quick.
Starks doing anything, or
he's getting good at riding a bike.
Hasn't fallen off in a week, huh?
Yeah, he's done a lot of that, so he'll continue to get good at being on a bike. I don't know, maybe he's going to be a Tour de France guy or something. You know?
You're out going fast as well. He's on there.
I coach them when they're out there. If they're not out there, I don't coach them. You know, so.
When do you guys start focusing on Marshall? I know you said it's something that you're not really paying attention to. It's the installation and getting things together. But when do you guys kind of turn the page and really start focusing on game prep?
We'll start doing it unofficially next week. You know, and we really haven't. And you know, this has always been my philosophy on it. And you know, in watching Jeff, how he puts things together and his installation and all that, he's on the same page with me about how he does it as well. I think a lot of people make the mistake of overkilling the first opponent. You know, you get in camp and all you do is talk about a specific opponent, which may or may not help you beat that opponent. But then when the next opponent shows up, you're a little out of whack because you don't have very much time to prepare for it. So it's the way we've always done it. We you know, we just worry about ourselves and get better, and then you know, school starts next week, so we'll back way off of them, and they'll have to be, you know, students for the majority of the day, which will give us as coaches more time to be able to start filing through some film and cut-ups and all that. So we'll probably unofficially start giving them a bunch of looks next week, but then, yeah, game week's a game week, you know, so that next week, the 4th week of camp, 2nd week of school is when we'll really, you know, really treat it like a true game week and focus on them.
If you're not focusing on Marshall this week, what's the primary objective for the scrimmage this weekend, and how much of that is going to dictate those positional battles that you haven't decided yet?
Yeah, just, you know, it's all situational stuff, which we've been practicing a bunch of situations. We'll do more situations Saturday. You know, it's more football, it's more snaps. Tomorrow morning we'll practice a little bit and get a bunch of individual work in like our morning plans are, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll tee it up and take, you know, a whole bunch of snaps, and then Saturday morning get them right back up here and take a whole bunch more snaps to the point to where we're just getting a lot more on film. And then again the next week we kind of switch gears a little bit. So is that time?
Dana, logistically, game week, how do you go with your game week? In the past, they practiced Sunday, took Monday off. What's your schedule going to be?
Yeah, same thing. We have a Sunday routine that we've been in around here for, you know, the last couple weeks, where we'll bring them in about 3 o'clock, you know, and you know, have a meeting, team meeting, special teams meeting, which can last anywhere from 5 minutes to 50 minutes based on all the material. If it's a game week, that meeting's going to be longer. You know, we like to lift them, you know, real hard on Sunday. We will, you know, lift and meet the offense and lift and meet the defense to where they're opposite of each other, and then we'll have a short practice Sunday night. Go out there and run them and make some corrections, and just, you know, I'm a firm believer in getting the thing over with, you know. So whether it's something good happened, whether something bad happened, either way, you got to get it over with. You got to move on to the next one. So that to me is closure. You know, that Sunday night practice is closure, and then Sunday night all day Monday, it's just about, you know, it's about watching film and getting ready, and letting the students go be student athletes. You know, they don't. I don't even want them up here. Come up here and study if they want to, you know. But and then Tuesday's hard, Wednesday's hard. You back off of them a little bit Wednesday. Thursday is kind of like it has been around here with helmets only, not very long, and then just a walkthrough on Friday.
Coach, you said you like to have a solid 2 deep at receiver. Have you found that throughout camp?
Yeah, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Stedman's been playing really well. Tavon's been playing well. You know, Davon Brown, the Wade kid, and Tyler are battling it out. They're 2 different people. We're figuring out, and we'll figure out who does what well and get them in a game. But they're a solid 1-2 there. Neeland and Sticks, Ivan, have been really battling back and forth. You know, so that one's been one of the funner ones to watch. You know, because Ivan's been so inconsistent for a year, but he's grown up and he's starting to become more consistent. I didn't say he's a player yet, but he's becoming more consistent, and I've been pleased with what I've seen with him. So, you know, the other side, we're looking for a solid number 2 at the other side, which there's a couple of battles going on over there.
You mentioned Brown there. We got a chance to talk to him today. Can you talk about his game a little bit? And obviously he does provide you a much different option than a guy like Tyler does.
Yeah, he's more along the, you know, Tavon. You know, a couple people mentioned he's kind of like Jock was last year, which, you know, all that's, you know, he's got game experience. He's got a great attitude. You know, you talk about a kid that's happy to be here and happy to, you know, be playing in this type of offense and is making the most of it. I've coached a bunch of seniors that their last go around, you get a lot out of them, you know. And had a guy last year that took at Oklahoma State, Bo Bowling, who ended up like the 3rd leading receiver, but he had to sit out his senior year, and then he came back for his 5th year and made the most of it. So guys that are coming back, especially 5th-year seniors that have one extra shot at doing it, you get a lot out of it. He's making the most of his opportunity.
Hey, you said Friday and Saturday, you know, a lot of plays, a lot of things on film. Is there going to be an inordinate, will that what they do on Friday and Saturday have a lot of bearing on whether or not they play and how much they play and where they are on the depth chart?
Yeah, it could. You know, I mean, it could. You know, there's some guys that are starting to separate themselves. The more you play, the more, you know, the more they separate themselves. You know, and it could. You know, but you know, guys have bad days. You know. Ryan Clark's really coming on too. Talk about a guy who had a few bad days early. He's it's like the lights came on with him too. He's really loving his role and playing hard. That stuff just happens. You don't know at what point in camp it happens. It may happen next week. It may happen Friday, Saturday. We talked about it a little bit a couple days ago. You'd like for it to happen right now, and you know who your two deep is, and you know exactly how many reps one's going to get and two's going to get. But the more you practice, the more that changes.
What is Ryan Clark's role right now?
He's a football player. Get in there and play. Right? You want to know if he's getting the ball or not? Yeah. He ain't getting the ball. We got other guys that have the ball. He's good, you know. I mean, he's carried the ball around here a lot, but you know, in the offense that we got right now, we'd rather have guys that are space players. You know, so that's just what his role is right now. If that changes, then it changes. Right now, he's get in there and do everything you can to help the team from a blocking standpoint, and he's done well. He's done well.
Are you prone to have a 4th and 1 goal line kind of guy who might carry the ball?
Yeah, it'd be somewhere between Andrew Bowie, Dustin Garrison, Bernard Roberts, and Trey Johnson.
Dana, when Oliver announced the switch back in December, he mentioned the offense before wasn't very exciting, and he wanted something the fans could identify with and fill out the stadium, things like that. How important is it for your offense to be excited? Because I mean, that's all anybody has really talked about. A kind of reputation arrived, and that's the buzz ever since. How important is that for you?
Well, I'd say pretty important.
Pretty
you know,
question.
it's more important to win the game. You know, I mean that's what matters. When it comes right down to it, that's what matters. If we're winning games, then chances are we're doing what we're supposed to be doing on offense. You know, we want to be able to carry our weight. And you know, we had the team meeting I had out there on the field before I came in. I talked about specific things that matter. And you know, you guys can get all caught up in it being real important for us to lead the nation in offense, or lead the nation in passing, or lead the nation in points, or whatever it is. But we don't talk about that. I mean, I hadn't in 3 years. You know, we talk about, you know, positive plays, not negative plays. We talk about, you know, and this was to offense and defense because it relates to the defense as well. It's not about the stats. It's about getting off the field on 3rd down. It's about creating turnovers. Offensively, it's about not turning the ball over. It's about, you know, staying on the field in 3rd down. Defensively, getting off the field 3rd down, being able to, you know, score points in the red zone. Offensively, being able to hold them to a field goal, and on defense when you're in the red. That's all the stuff that counts. That's all we're talking about. So if it's not as exciting as people might have wished, and we win, and we're happy with what we do situationally, then I guess people are going to have to get over it.
Do you think the guys grasp that whole, if you do what you're supposed to do, that you are going to get it in the end zone? It's not just, you come about 40 points, 35 points just by doing a couple of things in a row, not just hanging up 500 yards.
Yeah, do they get it right now? Is that the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Gee, I don't know, and I'm not going to know until we play a game. You know, I mean, you try to simulate a game and put them in all these situations, but you don't know if they actually get it and how good they are until you tee it up. I mean, you can have an idea, but that you never really know, and that's just the nature of where we're at. We can't have preseason games or anything like that. So the first time it really counts is when we play Marshall. You know, so we'll obviously have a lot better gauge of where we're at once we do that.
Is Bittenkurt your guy on